This is the hole that blew out of the Alaska Airlines airplane, forcing it to have to make an emergency landing at the Portland International Airport, and now we know the full story. This is Courtney. She posted a video on her TikTok account sharing what happened that night because she was on the plane and says it was literally the scariest moment of her life.
There was an Alaska Airlines flight that had an emergency landing yesterday due to part of the plane being ripped off, the fuselage door. And I just wanted to share my story about it because I was on that flight. Thankfully, I was towards the front of the plane, and where the whole incident happened was in the back of the plane. But about 10 minutes into takeoff, we're not cruising altitude yet. We were all still in like full takeoff mode. We all heard a loud bang, like really loud bang, a jolt, and a whoosh of air came back at us really quickly. Immediately in the next moment, the oxygen masks came down from the overhead compartment, and a flight attendant didn't even need to get overhead for everybody to immediately start putting them on. Put that over my head, tighten the straps, look around for children, see if anybody needs help. You know, we've seen movies. We've had those safety precautions like drilled into us. There's some commotion going on behind us. We're trying to look over our shoulders. We can't see anything because all the oxygen masks, like wires and everything, are in the way. And I am so grateful I was not in the back of the plane where people could potentially be sucked out of the door and their stuff like was getting sucked out. Like anybody who had a phone in their hand, gone immediately. The pilots never said anything. Totally fine with that. I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's fine. Just like focus on your job, because the flight attendants did come on. They did like say, keep your masks on, stay in your seats. Something's wrong. The pilots haven't given us any indication of what's going on yet. Soon enough, we could feel the plane turning and we could tell that we were going back. We do, as smoothly as possible, start descending, and it is so loud. That is like when I start having full panic all over again, even more than I'm already panicking, because you can really tell something's wrong because the engines are so loud. Since there's a hole in the wall, I will later find out. We land back at the Portland airport. We land smoothly, like somehow, and everybody starts clapping. And of course, that's when we start hearing information coming from the back of the plane that like a window's been ripped out, there's a hole in the plane, a lot of different stories, but basically like something came off in the plane, the phones were sucked out of their hands, some things were lost, a kid had to be held down by his mom, so he stayed in a seatbelt or stayed in a seat. This is when like the EMTs and the firefighters come on. They're asking if anybody needs help. They get ushered to the back of the plane where the hole was, and some people got off really quickly and were clearly the ones closest to the hole, saying that like they almost died. Their phones were sucked out. It was wild. It wasn't until we deboarded, 200 of us are waiting in this customer service line, that the picture of the whole panel that you've seen from the news articles that was gone starts circulating around the line. And I like took a picture of someone's phone since my seat was so far ahead, and that we're all starting to wonder what happened. We're speculating, was it the emergency door? It looks like it looks more than a window. Or like, could any part of the plane, a whole chunk of it, come off? We, of course, would later learn that it was a fuselage door. I think I'm saying that right, which it's a potential emergency exit door, but our plane didn't need a second one, so it's supposed to be sealed up. It's not supposed to be opened during flight as an emergency. It should just completely be sealed up, basically, which didn't happen.
Luckily, no one was seriously injured. This is a video that Courtney took just after they had landed.
Medical personnel are treating the people who are injured. So remain seated for us for now. Once they're treated, we'll go ahead and deplane.
The chair of the National Transportation Safety Board had this to say at a press conference about the situation.
We have the safest aviation system in the world. We are the global gold standard for safety around the world. We are very, very fortunate here that this didn't end up in something more tragic. No one was seated in 26A and B, where that door plug is. Fortunately, they were not at cruise altitude of 30,000 or 35,000 feet. Think about what happens when you're in cruise. Everybody's up and walking. folks don't have seatbelts on, we could have ended up with something so much more tragic, and we're really fortunate that that did not occur here.